So good afternoon everyone. On behalf of IILM, it's my privilege to welcome you all to the 6th leadership series of CXO. It's a continuation initiative that bridges the academic excellence with industry wisdom. At IILM, the CXO leadership series is conceived as a strategic academic industry interface that enriches learning beyond the classroom. The series is not merely about listening to the success stories, but it's about understanding the mindset, the discipline, and the strategic clarity that requires at the highest level. And today, the session is particularly significant as we host a leader whose journey reflects the strategic foresight, operational excellence, and transformative leadership at the highest level of corporate world. It's my distinct honor to introduce our esteemed guest for the day, Mr. S. Devarajan. Mr. Devarajan is a distinct technology industry veteran and former managing director of Tata Elxsi, widely recognized for leading one of the most successful corporate turnarounds within the Tata Group. Later, Sir has served as a managing director of Cisco Systems India, where he helped build Cisco's largest R&D center outside US. Founder of Transformation Consulting, he serves as an independent director on several corporate boards and technology mentors leader on strategy and transformation. Mr. Devarajan is also the author of Design to Win, a compelling account of transformation of Tata Elxsi and the strategic principles that drove its success. The book offers a deep insight into leadership, execution, excellence, and the mindset required to turn around an organization into a competitive, evolving industry landscape. Today's CXO session is centered around his very journey. We are not only drawing inspiration from his leadership experience, but also engaging with the ideas, frameworks, and the lessons articulated in the book. This discussion gives us the opportunity to understand, transform, not just a story of success, but as structured and strategic process, one that future leaders like our students can learn and apply. We also have among us Mr. Mohit Gupta, who is a dynamic go-to-market specialist known for transforming ideas into impactful business and brand outcomes. He is the founder of FOB, Friends of Book, a global platform where Edmund leaders share books that shape their thinking, fostering reading-led leadership, conversations, and corporate leading programs. Passionate about history, economics, and technology, he frequently speaks on innovation, strategy, branding, and socio-economic ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, please join hands with me in welcoming Mr. S. Devarajan and Mr. Mohit Gupta. It's now, I'll take the privilege of inviting our director, Mr. Vigyan Vidma, to share a few words.
Thank you, Professor Pallavi. Professor Anchal. The fact that Tata Elxsi was one of the darlings of the market, and it still is being sought after by a lot many young boys and girls who would like to work for this organization, that this is the kind of institution which Mr. Devarajan has led. Now that really means, the book also speaks a lot about it, the design to win as such, because this is the time we live in a VUCA world. We're facing in all kinds of uncertainties every now and then. Now, who will be a better person to tell about the journey Tata Elxsi and the one experience which he has gone through in the past few years and share with you all? And I'm sure there will be a lot of takeaways, and each one of you will really benefit from this particular lecture, or in fact the chat with Mr. Mohit Gupta, with Mr. Devarajan. So we all look forward to. We're going to change the chair and we'll make sure that we sit here, just to make sure that we don't miss out on anything, any part of the discussion at all. And thank you so much once again, Ms. Mohit, for getting Ms. Devarajan for this interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Without further ado, let's get into the most awaited segment of the day, the book discussion of Design to Win. For that, I would like to invite Mr. Mohit, who will be engaging with insightful conversation with Mr. S. Devarajan.
Thank you, Dr. Anchal. Did I took it right? Anchal, correct. Perfect. Anchal, perfect. Thank you very much. It's always good to be in IILM, always at this campus. It's such a beautiful, lovely campus. Good to see the future leaders of the country here. And I'm very glad today because of my very dear friend Lipika, who's here, who's the lead publicist for the book, sending this book to me and telling me that this is a fascinating book, I should read this. Whenever she recommends anything, I always read. And that's how the journey into this book happened. And also, Tata Elxsi, because it's to all the young folks who don't invest, Elxsi is not associated with any Alexas. It's no cousins or the brothers or the nieces. But Elxsi is different. It has a very transforming story. I heard about it a couple of years ago, including my banking days. This was a very darling stock altogether. Somehow I couldn't make money in that. That's for another day. But the wealth comes from here now. At least I'm sitting next to him. All the loss that I made in my Tata Elxsi stock, at least I can cover it up now. On that note, it's as an organization, there's a great story. But the person who transformed that organization altogether holds a whole lot of amazing set of stories that we will discuss today. Sir, you had a very, very interesting life altogether, a very accomplished life. And the accomplishment of anybody's life can be how they stay in touch with their classmates. Is there anyone who can stay in touch with their classmate from class 2 or class 1? Is there anyone? Very few. He is amongst those. He is amongst those. We have somebody who has been his classmate since class 2. He is here today. And that's what the character of the person can be told. He stays in touch, that he's a very relationship-oriented person. But he's a very courageous person altogether. And especially to all the youngsters who will go for their first job. Usually the first job after your B school is usually a area sales manager or a sales role, where you have to put in a lot of extra effort. But the point is, how far will you go? Because this gentleman actually did something which was life-threatening. And this story comes from the river Tungabhadra, where he was on a small coracle. Coracle is that bamboo boat. वो होती है ना जो मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा में एक बोट होती थी, या जिस पे करीना कपूर ने गाना गाया था, रात का नशा अभी गया नहीं. That's coracle. I'm sure the boys are smiling so they can relate.
Unfortunately, I didn't sing that song.
No. Though he's a great singer and a photographer as well. So his pictures speak more than 1,000 words. Every picture of his speaks more than 1,000 words. But this time we would need this story of yours of crossing the Tungabhadra as a young person who has just entered into his career life.
Yeah, thank you, Mohit. Thank you for those sweet words. Yeah, I must thank, in order of sitting, I think Raju and Sudha here. We go back, I think, 40 plus years. And Sudha and me worked together back in HCL. Then I have Lipika, of course, no-brainer here. Archana there, we go back another 35 odd years. Her husband and me, Balaji, worked together. Then I have Sunil and Rameshwar. Sunil and me go back from class 2 through IIT, and we still remain in touch as families. Rameshwar and me go back from IIT days. So for me, it's a family reunion of sorts, And of course, my dear young friends, budding executives, I'm sure we'll spend the next 45 minutes usefully for both of us. You asked the right questions, I learned from you too. So you want me to talk about the Tungabhadra? Yeah, my first job was at HCL, Hindustan Computers Limited those days. And I was posted in Chennai after a stint in Delhi and Kolkata. And while at Chennai, I was a sales guy. Though I'm an engineer by education, I became a sales and marketing person. And I was selling computers in the days when computers were very, very rare a commodity to sell. And my territory was part of Tamil Nadu and part of Andhra Pradesh. So we had some discussions with a company in interior Andhra Pradesh. It was a large paper mill, and after the proposals, those days everything had to go by post. No, there was no email. There was not even courier those days. And then finally they called me for a discussion to finalize the deal. So how do you get to that place? It was a place called Kurnool, and I had to take a day train from Chennai, Bombay train, which I got off at Kurnool in the evening. Then I took a cycle rickshaw from the station, told that guy I need to go to some kind of a hotel or lodge or whatever. We are talking about 1980, 81. So he said, I will take you. I spoke in Hindi, he spoke in Telugu, but we understood each other. And then I go to this lodge and I said, I need a room. So he asked me, attached or detached? Means whether you need an attached bathroom or a detached bath. I said attached. So I slept the night. Morning, I believe the paper mill is across the river Tungabhadra. And Tungabhadra is a very mighty river. And you have to go by the company ferry to the other side. So again, I got onto the cycle rickshaw, went to the river bank, and 9:30, and that's when the ferries operate. So that guy at the ferry terminal told me that, sir, the ferry is gone. I said, okay, I'll wait for it to come back. Every 10, 15 minutes it comes back. He says, no, it's under routine maintenance. It won't come back till evening. And here I am, did a 8-hour train journey overnight in a attached bath lodge, and I need to go and meet my customer. I had made this commitment to meet him the next day, and the CFO of the company, and here I am stuck the other side of the river. So the ferry person, he told me, sir, I can organize a boat for you. I said, sure. So then I went down the steps and find this 4 feet or 5 feet round coracle made of bamboo and cane and some leather to do some kind of a waterproofing, which didn't really work. And he said, please sit down, sir. I said, how much? He said, 2 rupees. I said, okay. Somehow, he said, sit cross-legged. That's the only way you can sit on this boat. So I sat cross-legged. I put my briefcase as a seat, otherwise my trousers would get wet. Whatever I could see was seeping all over the place. And finally, he set sail. Believe me, that was the worst experience of my life. Halfway down the river, the current was a little heavy, and it was, the boat was going this way, round and round. And I said, okay, somehow let me get onto the other side, then I'll talk. Got onto the other side, and I was still kind of in a tizzy. And those guys saw me at the other side and said, what happens? I said, no, I need to go to the office. They immediately called up a jeep, and I went to the office. I went to the CFO's office, told his secretary, I've come from Chennai, I have to meet so-and-so. Said, please wait, sir. And then immediately called me in. And the guy said, how did you come? I said, came by boat. Boat? The ferry is not operating till evening. I said, sir, I came by coracle. He said, what? And he just slammed me so badly, and he fired the hell out of me, saying I was irresponsible and all that. I told him, it's okay, sir, I had a meeting with you, I've come to keep up the appointment. He was quite impressed, quite emotionally taken up by my commitment, and we had a long meeting, successful meeting. Then he said, let me see if the managing director is free, we can spend 10 minutes with him. So after we were summoned there, both of us went to the MD's office, and he says, he's come, and he came by coracle. I got another round of firing for doing that. And then finally he said, I think your proposal looks good. I think we should finalize the deal and give you the order today itself. I said, sir, there's a 30% advance you need to pay. We will do that also. So finally I went back with the check, came back to Kurnool by the proper ferry. And see, it's the commitment that I'm trying to sell here to you guys. It's I felt that since I had kept a promise, kept an appointment, I need to execute on that. And the results, of course, was fantastic. Yeah, and I can still narrate the story as if it happened day before yesterday.
So I think while I read this story in the book, it really touched me because commitment is a commitment. और शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग है ना, जब तुम किसी चीज़ को इतनी मोहब्बत से चाहोगी पूरी कायनात तुम्हारे पीछे पड़ जाए. I think that 30% was part of that Om Shanti Om's dialogue. And what you need is courage, especially for the youngsters who are here. Once you will start your career, once you start your journey, what you would need initially is the courage along with the commitment. Courage could have been very difficult that he would have thought of swimming the entire Tungabhadra. But courage with the commitment that he had to bring the 30% advance as well, which actually makes the difference, which sets the tone. So throughout his journey, what I realized with this courage and commitment, the same commitment he took a role, he was doing very well in his corporate life. He had a chance to continue doing it when he got a call from Tata Elxsi. And at that point of time, if I would have been him, I would have never ever joined because the company was making losses like anything. There were huge losses. I think that time a tune of -2 crores or something.
29.
-20. My goodness. I would have never thought of going into an organization, especially when I'm doing good. That's a typical management learning that we always get in our lives. But what you will listen from him, that why he would have joined Tata Elxsi at a time when then it was making losses, because there's a joy of transforming something. That's what the story of Phoenix is all about, that you rise from the ashes. And sir, I would like to listen from you of what actually happened during those Tata Elxsi transformation days. What exactly was your thought?
So, I mean, I know you're calling me silly and foolish to join the company. Well, I take that, very politely you said that, Mohit. So, I was quite comfortable with my job in Hyderabad. And one day I received a message from Bombay, from Mr. Elxsi Kohli's office. Elxsi Kohli was the CEO and founder of TCS. He was on the board of Tata Sons. And he also happened to be the chairman of Tata Elxsi. So there was a call from his office saying that he would like to meet me. I used to work in a Tata company in Hyderabad too. So that is the connect. So I went to Bombay and his office is in Air India building. And he said, come sit down, Devarajan. And then he said, what do you do nowadays and what's the kind of job you're doing? I told him, I'm general manager sales in this company and all that. Then he said, do you know about Tata Elxsi? I said, sir, it's a new company, just a year or two old and don't know very much about it, but they are into the computing business. I know that much. He said, let me tell you. And he told me all about the company, how much of a doldrum it was in, how much it was kind of flailing and deeply sunk in losses and not making money, not making sales also. So having told me all that, he said, will you work with me and let's make this change happen and make it work well for you and me. See, these words came from Mr. Elxsi Kohli. He is a grandeur of a person. And when he makes that request or makes that ask, it's very difficult for a person, whether it's me or anybody else, to say no to him. So that's why I succumbed. Okay. So I said, okay, I will certainly, please support me, sir. I will work. He said, okay. So that's how I joined Tata Elxsi.
And then what exactly happened during the transformation? I would say 3 best things that happened while you were transforming it from red P&L to the green P&L. What exactly happened during those tenure?
It's a very short question for an extremely long answer. Most of it is written in the book, so get one. So what I would like to say is the company was doing everything wrong. Whatever it's supposed to do, it did not do. Whatever it's not supposed to do, also it did not do. So everything was going wrong there. And strategically, it was in the wrong business. It was trying to sell computer systems not meant for a market that it's supposed to be sold to. So after I joined, the only way we could do re-strategizing is look at business opportunities which were very different from what the market demanded then. say we had competition from companies like Wipro, HCL, TCS and others. So we wanted to do something very different. We did not want to follow the standard path of selling to the enterprise customers. So we said, let's look at working in the areas of engineering design, animation, special effects for movies, and work on simulation for the aerospace and defense industries. So we completely derailed our thinking into working in those areas. And one of the reasons for that was there would be limited competition in that space because other companies were not attacking the space at all. And in one of the conferences that I attended where Mr. Ratan Tata was hosting about 89 of the Tata CEOs, one statement that he made there was, folks, I think we should, pull up our bootstraps as a Tata company, as a group company, and each one of you running these companies should either be number one or number two in the business that you're in, or don't be there. That hit me like a bullet. And I said, if that is so, then we can't be doing business like others because they're already number 1, 2, and 3 will be 5th or 6th place. So let's do something different. That's why we started working in areas which were extremely radical, extremely different from all other tech companies in this country. And that is how we set sail. We did good revenues, good margins, and in about 3-4 years, we started declaring profits.
So the gist of what you said, sir, in fact, what I learned also was, I think, the right focus, because many times, even as startups or even large companies, we try to do many things in one go, which I think is a disaster. The focus towards bringing your business into the products that you were very good at, and that's what you have written a couple of stories about it, where the softwares that you started creating. The second one was the innovation. You tried to create a blue ocean strategy around your set of products and the kind of customers who could never even imagine that they would need those. ISRO was one of those examples. In fact, IISc was one of those examples, including what you did with the product Maya, which got you into the Apple as well. And you were always a great salesman, sir. That's what I have been able to figure
Mohit.
out,
Thank you, Mohit.
Absolutely.
We'll settle our scores out.
Yeah, definitely, sir. You were very focused. You knew what has to be done. Of course, as a leader, you have to take your teams together. But that's by default. It has to come. But sometimes, as even if you are a very senior person in the organization, you give your 100% to something. And again, I'm coming back to the commitment part of what he did. One of the deals that you clinched was, what was the name of the company? That was the Crest Communication, alongside Shyam Ramanna. And you stayed there the whole night. This should be told to everyone, especially the youngsters. Yeah. And people like me who get very lazy many at times. That you should never be lazy if there's a customer there.
Please, certainly. So, but before that, I think what is important, in leadership positions is the team. The team we had in the company was exemplary. I mean, they were absolutely, what I call an ace team. And they were all willing to go all out to make this company successful. It's not leader, one man and the rest, It was like playing a game of hockey or football. We all played together. Everybody was running, everybody was salvaging for business, hunting. So we all did it as a team, and everybody contributed, everybody participated, no holds barred. So I think that is very important, to be a team player, be part of the team, and in the process what happens, the leader doesn't know everything. The youngsters know much more than you. So by working with them closely, you learn from them, and they learn from you also. So that's what really helped the company become what it became, not anything else. What Mohit is talking about is a deal, is a deal that we did. There was this. We used to sell a lot of animation solutions into the animation studios. We created at least, I would say, 7 or 8 large animation studios which are still in effect today. If you take in the south, it was Prasad Productions, it was Ramoji Film City in Hyderabad, Annapurna Studios in Hyderabad, Western Outdoor in Mumbai, UTV in Mumbai, Prime Focus in Mumbai, TV 18 here in Delhi, which became NDTV. All these studios we set up with our solutions. So there was another company which was popular, which is shut down now. It's called Crest Communications. They were very big in advertising, animation and all that. Run by one Mr. Shyam Ramanna, who was the son of the nuclear physicist Dr. Raja Ramanna. So we were very good friends. He was my customer, but we were very close to each other in the sense, I don't know why I built those relationships and they last. So he called me one day and he said, Dev, I want to discuss, it's coming, nearing March, so we have some money to spend, so can you come and have a discussion with me? It was about mid-February. I said, Shyam, I'll be able to come. When do you want me to come? Today? Let's meet today, 9 o'clock. I said, it's already 3 o'clock. He said, no, 9 o'clock in the night. I said, okay. So that's how they work. They all work through the night, they sleep during the day, all animation owls as they call them. No? So we booked a flight and I reached there at about 7:30. I asked my regional manager from Mumbai to come and I said, this is going to go through a long night, so ask one of your assistants also to come to do some paperwork and all that if necessary, because we want to close this deal. So we went, reached his office at 9 o'clock, and it's a very funny situation. You know, he's a boss, he's got a team, his wife is the CFO of the company, and he was still sleeping when we went, and when we woke up, his wife Seema went and knocked at his door. He woke up and then brushed his, all this is happening in the office. I saw him coming out with a toothbrush, he goes, comes back, then he gets ready and he says, come Dev, let's sit down and discuss. So we started discussing what he wanted, and he wanted a fairly large amount of hardware, software and all that. And after all the discussion, it was already about 11:30, 12 at night, and then and everything was very alive as it was 8 in the morning. Then he said, okay, now that we've discussed all this, you go to Seema and discuss the financials, the commercials. I said, okay, I knew this was going to happen. And she was very ruthless when it came to discussing numbers. And went to her. Then my regional manager and his deputy all came. He said, no, I just want to talk to Dev. You guys stay. It was very, very insulting. But I said, let it be here. Deal is important. So then I had figured out all the numbers already. Then I was pretending to be on my calculator, making notes and all that. And finally I said, this is the number. She seemed okay. Then she showed it to this guy. It was already 2 o'clock by then. And then by about 2:30, and sips of coffee and sandwiches were getting downed. Then he said, 2:30. He said, yeah, this looks good. This is a fairly large thing. Can you deliver by March 31st? I said, if you get the order today, we can deliver by March 31st. Then he said, today, now it's not possible. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I said, no, I have my person. He will type out the quotation on your letterhead, your purchase order on your letterhead. Whatever you want, we will do. You give me the order and the check. So finally this happened. By about 4 o'clock, 4:30, the purchase order was typed by our guys on his letterhead. And Seema issued a whopping check, because I wanted a whopping check, otherwise I can't deliver. And then I caught the 6 o'clock flight in the morning and back to Bangalore. Reached office by 9:30. Nobody knew I had gone out all night except for my CFO and my admin. And the deal was done. So a request from a customer, a commitment made, and it all has to have a little element of drive and passion. Otherwise you'll say, let me see, I'll do it day after tomorrow. Why? Strike when the iron is hot, when the moment is there. And it was a very big deal for Tata Elxsi those days with hefty margins. And that's the story you wanted to hear. Yeah.
So I think many times we think success is always 9 to 6 a.m. to p.m. But I think in his case, what he has demonstrated, success is round the clock. Especially in this case, it was 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. He reversed the clock that time. So I think that was a very, very motivating story to me, sir. Next time somebody, in fact, Dr. Chaturvedi, whenever he calls me, I never see the watch. And if he says, Raat ka 10 baja hai, to koi baat nahi, sir. So what FC Kohli was to you, I think to me Dr. Chaturvedi is.
Superb.
Sir ने बोला रात है तो मैं कह दूंगा रात है, दिन है तो दिन है. So that's what to me is Dr. Chaturvedi. And courtesy him we are here today, and many times we do these acts of discussions what we do. Now before I go to my next question, which is very interesting to all of you, if there's anyone who's curious and would like to have any question to sir or any observation, anything that you would like to ask him, any of you, please feel free. Sir, please.
Yeah, please.
So I'm Dr. Gurpreet Singh Bhatia. I teach economics here. I have a small question. Perhaps I don't know. Maybe your questions would be related to this. So you have also been involved with JRR design.
Not me. Yeah,
No,
Tata
I mean
Elxsi.
the company. So my question to you is now Jaguar is facing a lot of flack because of its new upcoming car. This design philosophy has kind of divided the opinion. So my question to you is, in your philosophy of design to win, do you think there is some input from the Indian design team that they should implement to make the car more acceptable to the whole prospective customers around the world? Thank you.
I'm afraid I can't really answer this question because it's a very car manufacturer personal question and relates to Tata Elxsi today, and I don't have a clue as to what was the transaction which led to this. So I may completely be off the record if I say give my opinion on this. So I really can't answer that. Yeah.
Anyone else, please, if anything that you'd like to ask in terms of that can help you with your career, with your... Sir. Yes, please.
So, sir, first of all, I have read that book and it's a very inspiring and interesting...
Please clap for him. There's a student who
Thank you.
Inspiring and interesting book, and I will say it was very easy to read book. So I am reading in the author's view that you have mentioned that there is nowhere in your mind that you will write this book, and when you meet someone and he will suggest you that the Tata Express story must be forwarded to the students, only then you think of writing this book, and you have devoted the whole year in writing this book. So how would you suggest the young leaders, like you have just go into the point which you have never imagined and write? So how will you suggest that students can come out of their comfort zone to do things which they never think of?
So your question is, how do you make students think out of the box, think out of their comfort zone?
Think out of the box and do things which they have never might think of doing that.
No. You think out of the box, but you're already thinking of what you want to do, right? Otherwise, how do you know what you should be thinking?
You have never think of writing that book. And
but the story was there.
But the story was there, yeah. So how will you suggest, like if someone will suggest you to do things that you have never imagined to do that, but you have the content, so how will you get the courage to do that thing?
So it takes back to the question that I was asking you, that what encouraged you to write this book?
Okay, let me. I think his question is a little different. No, his question is a little different. How do I encourage you to think of doing things you never thought you wanted to do?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's your question. So, do you dream? I didn't get your name.
Arpit.
Arpit, do you dream?
Yes, sir.
You dream you want to be something, do something, wish to do something?
Yes, sir.
So why don't you note it down? Whatever you wish to do, whatever you dreamt that you wanted to do. Wait, let me finish. Write it down on a piece of paper. Get up in the morning. If I have to do this, achieve this, what is the roadmap for that? What all do you think I should work backwards to achieve that? It could be money. It could be your talent. It could be any other kind of resources. It could also be that it cannot be done in this country for whatever reasons, right? But make a checklist, a laundry list of what all you think you need to do to make that wish or dream happen. Then you see what is achievable out of that. You will find that if those limitations that you have are taken away, it is quite possible that you can reach there. But what those limitations are and how can it be taken away is something which has to be discussed in depth. But there's nothing called impossible. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So, Arpit, imagine minus 29 crores to what was that, 500 plus crores or more? Much more than that. I think that's something which is commendable, only because he planned it very well. He knew what are the instruments to be used and he kept on thinking. And beyond that, what Tata Elxsi story tells us, that never ever stop trying. That's what I think the last story he mentioned also says about it. So I think that's a lesson that we can all draw. Thank you. Is there anyone else with the raised hand? Yes, there is one. Ma'am, please.
Good one. See, stress or burnout, no, there are two kinds of stresses. No. You asked me the question, let me answer. So one is what I call positive stress. When you want to do something and you want to achieve something with your team and you know where the goal is and you know the steps to be taken to reach there, right? That's all positive stress. It doesn't burn you out. It requires a lot of energy, it requires a lot of effort, requires a lot of other resources, but those kind of stresses don't really burn out oneself. But if there is a stress where you're trying to do something which cannot be done by you or it's out of your limits, but you're forced to do, that's when the stress tells on you. So whatever we were trying to do was something we all believed in. We were passionate about and we knew that the roadmap was very clear. This is where we are heading and this is where we wish to reach. So once that is there, you're okay. I mean, it's a good stress, it's a fun stress to have.
So it's like that Three Idiots ka, the rancho, right? You love something and then you keep on doing it. You always feel good about it. Anyone else, please? Yes, ma'am, please.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sartaj Khera.
Hello.
So just wanted to ask, in terms of teamwork, what do you think is the most valuable aspect, which really works in success? Thank you.
I think as a team, we should all drive one passion. That's a common goal for the team. So as long as you have the drive, the passion, you start getting the drive. And as a team, when you play the game, like I said earlier, we should all play it together and share that common objective, which is the goal that we are talking about. And finally, everything comes from the heart. It all comes from your mind that you want to do it and you want to achieve that. And it's that passion which helps a team succeed. Nothing. Hard work and knows all those peripheral things are important. Without that, nothing can happen. But that commitment, and the drive comes from within you. It cannot be influenced,
Is there anyone else or I will take the last question now, sir?
Sure.
Yeah. We started on time, so we will end it on time as well.
I used to have that mantra when I used to go to work. If I can't reach office on time, at least I leave on time.
Very good, sir. Semi-disciplined, sir, is always good. Better than not.
Punctual one way.
Yeah. You wanted to ask something, ma'am? Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Sushma and I'm from Frontlist Media. So I have two questions. So the first one is how much time you took to, cover that loss? And what were the major hurdles you had with your team to overcome this?
So it took about 4 or 5 years, roughly. I'm not able to give the actual number. I don't remember the number, so I don't want to tell you a wrong number, but about 5 years, I think, it took.
But I think this was very less time you have covered in.
I don't know whether it's, thank you for saying it's less, because a lot of people thought it was a lot of time I was taking. So, it's a perspective, so
Yeah,
we
but
can't
then
be judgmental there. No?
on the line from minus to not to equilibrium to positive, 5 years, it's too good.
Thank you. You had one more question. Sorry.
Yeah. So, what was the major hurdle? Like, I mean, to overcome this, you might have faced multiple opportunities
No,
with the team.
actually, to be honest with you, I'm not boasting or bragging here. I would say the hurdles were what we thought initially, that it was a very tough proposition. It was something that was not possible. Then we convinced ourselves, saying, why? Like I answered a question to one of your colleagues. I mean, why is it not possible? There must be a way. For everything there is a way, right? So we said there is a way, and we'll find that way. And we found that way, and everybody pitched in. So when you work like that, no, it's a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, and everybody said, let's succeed, let's do it. So we did it. So hurdles are something which you and I create for ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but what we realize these days, a team get distracted very easily. So that is keeping them intact with the target is really a
So
hurdle.
that Gen Z, yeah? Huh?
Agreed.
So, unfortunately, we didn't come from that.
Right. I get it.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Perfect. So, sir, imagine if you are a listener sitting somewhere, say possibly in the last row where Dr. Chaturvedi and Dr. Gill have made you sit there, telling them, nahi, 1 ghanta to aur rukna padega. And imagine if you are in that back seat and still you get curious and you want to distill this entire 1 hour conversation. What would be those 3 most important lessons, not only from your professional life, but from your journey altogether? Why I'm calling it a journey, because the destination is still far away. You are always on the move. What would those 3 most important lessons that boy or the girl should take back home today?
I don't know. I'm just repeating myself over and over again because, yeah. So I think be committed in whatever you wish to do and you want to do. And I don't know, I keep using this word passionate. And unless you're passionate about it, you cannot be committed to it, And build relationships. I think it's important to build and sustain relationships, because there are some customers of mine, I'll tell you, I worked with the family for 4 decades, more than 40 years. And one of them came for my book launch in Bangalore, and he told that to the audience. This man worked with my grandfather. And I'm not that old, mind you. And now he's mentoring my children, So I have had relationships like that for 40 years with my clients. 30 years is common. I have friends here who come 60 years. So what do you say for that? Build and maintain. Building relationship is easy. Maintaining it is not easy. Because all these people, move around. You come across similar people. Okay, let me tell you this quick anecdote before we close. This Coracle story I told you, and I met that MD and all that. Many years later, this was in my first job, when I was in Tata Elxsi. I was not the CEO, I was in Vice President of Sales. I had a team player whom we had hired from the Middle East to run some business vertical. So one day he came up to me after about 6 months of joining. He said, Dev, my father-in-law has come to town. He lives in Hyderabad. He has come into town, so he would like to meet you. I said, inside my heart is, why should I meet this guy's father-in-law? So I was polite. I said, why does he want to meet? No, he wants to meet. He's staying at the Windsor Manor Hotel. So shall we meet for breakfast tomorrow? Tomorrow, day after, whatever the date was. I said, see, I can come. And if you really want me, no, he is very influential and all that. I said, okay, then my mind started worrying, somewhere I can pivot this. So I said, yeah, we can meet, but forget about breakfast. We'll just have a cup of coffee with him. So about a week later or something, I went. I met the gentleman, and typical, very political looking person, the South Indian political looking person will wear a white shirt, white pant, and very eminent kind of person. So I said, hello, sir, and all that. Met him. Then he said, I used to be, finally I retired as chairman of Rayalaseema Paper Mills in Kurnool. Have you met me there? I said, yes, I have. I was feeling very sheepish, no? He was a young boy with a coracle. so he said, no, your name sounded familiar. So I asked my son-in-law to call you. I said, so that was something very hard-hitting for me, I never expected. Nothing I derived out of that meeting him, but his connect that I had met him, eons back, was something which lingered on. And in fact, I mentioned that in my book, as a flashback, flash forward, I would say,
So, sir, you said 3 words, and I was just looking them again and again because they can make anyone unhappy in the world. Because the unhappiest people are the married people.
Why?
I tell you why. Because the 3 words that you have given
I never
for
heard
the
that
success
before.
is, one is the commitment. Boss. Second is the passionate. Very important. And the third one is maintaining the relationship. That's what your colleague did by calling his father-in-law, making you meet. But I think that's the mantra of success that will work anywhere. And I'm very happy that you never said, go for the best degree, go for this learning, that learning. That all comes secondary. What really comes first is, possibly in any order that you can have, the commitment, passion and relationship management. Because all these 3 are very, very interconnected. And that's where the journey continues. And why I mentioned journey, interestingly, Confucius and also Dr. Gill will also agree to this very interesting Chinese proverb that says, the joy is in the journey, not in the destination. And that's where we are here now. While we have covered almost 60 minutes in this discussion, we have covered a journey of many of these interesting stories as well as these learning mantras, I must say, which you will take for your life as a journey. Don't think that's the destination. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you all for staying behind and listening to me. Yes, Sunil. Yes. Oh. Not those tough ones, huh?
Thank you, Shamu, for the excellent words. As I see this crowd, we are, as he told you, we are schoolmates and college mates. And he's talking about the great book. I think very few of you have even reached the managerial level. So reading this high funda book might be out of your way. So my suggestion or my question, which you should ask him, is he spent 5 years in a place called Kharagpur. What was the leadership and the great things he did there, if he has anything to share? Which he has not written in the book, because I am aware of some of the things he did. No, I will not answer. Please go ahead and share some of those experiences to me that really made him what he could do later. To all of you,
he knows.
Especially those backbenchers. We were mostly backbenchers. And
see, IIT is not a place for academics. It's a place for education. Let me tell you that. Correct?
Absolutely.
It's not a place where you study everything. You become an educated person once you leave those campus walls. And it's not just...
he's been a good boy. He's an educated person. Actually, we in our time, we used to enter in class 11. Imagine in 70s, no internet, no WhatsApp. We used to enter as boys and come out as men. That was the difference,
correct,
right?
Correct.
Being educated is
That's
very
also
nice.
there in the
I'm
book,
a
Sunil.
school friend.
That's also there in the book.
So please share at least one of your leadership experiences of Kharagpur. Not harmonica, something else.
Should we talk about the convocation?
Okay.
Prime Minister. Huh? Prime Minister. Indira Gandhi.
No. See, that is already in the book. What is not in the book?
Everything I put in the book. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No. He is absolute. Yeah, absolute friend. Are you done?
outside, anyone who wants to get the book and a copy, get it signed by him, you can have it.
Now I'd like to request Yashvi to deliver word of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. I extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. S. Devarajan for gracing us with his presence and sharing such powerful insights from his leadership journey and his book Designed to Win. Sir, your reflections have provided us with invaluable lessons that go far beyond theory. We are truly thankful for your time, wisdom, and generosity in engaging with our students. I would also like to express our heartfelt appreciation to Mr. Mohit Gupta for conducting the book discussion session so thoughtfully and bringing out meaningful perspectives through the discussion. Our sincere thanks to our visionary leadership, faculty members, for their continuous support in making the CXO Leadership Series a meaningful platform for the industry-academia engagement. A special thanks to the CXO committee and student volunteers whose efforts behind the scenes ensured the smooth execution of this event. And finally, thank you to all the students and participants for your enthusiastic presence and engagement. With this, we conclude today's session, and we hope the insights shared today will inspire each one of us to lead with clarity, courage, and purpose. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.